Hello everyone, I'm Gigi Rude and today I want to do a weird experiment. I decided to record for the first time some voice commentary, and I hope you're not too rude about that because, well, as you can tell, my English is pretty bad, and so I decided to do so because, well, in some way I have to learn how to talk in English and what best way to do so than playing video games. I decided to record Kerbal Space Program because, well, it seems that a lot of you enjoy it, and instead of going directly to the hard stuff, I think I will do some videos about introducing the game to new people. So I will explain some basic stuff. First of all, this is the menu, I think you can call, and there is the space plane hangar, the vehicle assembly building. You can read in the bottom left corner. The tracking station and the launch pad. The launch pad, you can select a ship, rocket, and launch it, or you can. Oh, the runway you can also select an aircraft. In the space plane hangar, you build space planes, and here it rockets. The tracking station is used to keep. It's not like okay. Is used to see all the flight in progress and to move to them and continue them. So if you are going for multiple missions at the same time, this is the place you want to go. So I think I will explain the basics of building a rocket, and when you start, it it asks you to select a command module. I think I will go for this. This is the standard one. Is the one carbon version. It's pretty small. Is 1.5 meters, I think, in diameter. It's the same size of these tanks. So how the building works? There is the space pod, and you drag, select something, you click on it, and then you attach it. So here in the bottom right corner there is the staging. This is where you can move stuff around to decide when to use it. Staging is important for engines, the parachute, and I think there's no for solid boosters. They are also engines, and and the couplers, and this for launching. Other stuff like fuel tanks, SAS, they can be everywhere. It's usually best to close, keep them closer to the stage they are going to be used, but it's not mandatory. So to build a rocket, first of all, you want to attach a parachute, and then at the oops at the coupler. Then I usually go for an advanced SAS and RCS fuel. So as you can see, there is three stages now: 0, 1, and 2. When you launch, your rocket, it will go from bottom to top. So the first stage to launch will be 2. Then when it space, it will the couple. Then the space a second time will open the parachute at the moment. So also I use the advanced SAS. Where it is. The advanced SAS is like an autopilot. When you activate it with T, it will try to pilot your ship and keep it in the same direction you're already traveling, in the same direction you're pointing. Sorry, it will keep the ship pointing in the same direction. Said better. And it will not apply any force. It will use the systems being active on the ship, but if you don't have anything useful to control the rocket, it won't do much. But what we also need, okay, I want to explain the basic stuff. So RCS are this thing, and these are used to move faster your ship, to turn it around faster, especially in space, in the vacuum. So one RCS is not that useful, so we can click here. There's symmetry in 2, 3, 4, 6 and 8, or 1. So if I select it 4, it will apply the RCS thrusters on the 4 sides, and it will keep the same angle between them. So if you want to make a ship symmetric, this is the thing to use. Also here there are 3 things. One is center of lift. We don't have any wings, so it won't show anything. Center of thrust, where the vector, I can explain, where the I can explain, well, it will be easier later. And center of mass shows where is our center of mass. Now I think I want to go for liquid fuel in this stage. Liquid fuel, you will need fuel tanks and then an engine. As you can see, you can stack them on top of each other, so it's not a problem to do so. Now there are 2 types of liquid fuel engine. One which is vectorial and the other is don't. Well, there are many types, but you can distinguish them from which are vectorial and which are not. Vectorial engines will slightly turn their burr to keep adding where you are pointing at. So I cannot explain. This, for example, will fire straight down, while this, which is a little bit less powerful, will try to point the burr in such a way that you will continue to move, to point toward the selected orientation. So I think I will go with this vector one, and this is a very basic space rocket, by the way. So I want also a decoupler, and sorry, I want to remove one of the tank and do so it's a little bit lighter. And here I want to attach a three coupler. This one detach, so you have to put it after a decoupler, and this divides in three, so you put symmetry on three and you can stack more fuel tanks, and then an engine. So something we can do is to go to this page and attach some struts connector. This will make strong links between stuff. Well, not strong, but will make stronger links between two parts of the ships, so it won't move that much. Another type of decoupler is the radial decoupler. There are two versions, this one and this. For lighter rockets I tend to use this because, well, we don't need that much these ones for small parts. I think here I will use some solid fuel boosters to help us get away. Solid rocket boosters are different from liquid fuel engine because, well, you cannot control the thrust they emit. They will always fire at max thrust. You cannot decide to turn off midway, and they don't require a fuel tank. They already have fuel in them, and they tend to give a burst of a burst of power in a short period of time. So they're very useful if you want to get away from the ground. Maybe you have an hard lifting ship, very slow, you can attach some of them. There is also a bigger version, and it will help you out to gain some speed. So we will call this, I don't know, E in one. I cannot type P, so I want to type episode 1, but, well, I can't. So staging as you can see here, is managed automatically by the game, but you can also change it here or made fly. So as I said, I want to fire this solid booster, but I want to also fire this at the same time. So I will move the solid booster rockets above with them, I will move this stage, which is the stage of this decoupler, above, so when they are out I can detach them. Also, at the moment when we run out of fuel here, we will space 1 to decouple them, this user's part, and then space another time to fire this. I want to hit space only once to decouple and fire, so I move this stage, remove a stage and move this up, while I want this to decouple without firing the parachute, because I will fire it when I'm lower in the orbit, so I lose some speed in the thick area. So let's save it and launch. Okay, here we are, and okay, here we are. It needs sometimes to make the gravity have effect. So now you're wondering what is going on. So this is the cam where you can see. Well, you right click, you hold right click and move the mouse around to move the camera, and you can also press M to look at the map, see where you are, the values of your orbit and stuff like that. But well, now there are some important keys you must know. R is used to turn RCS on. As you can see, they are firing when I press the keys, and T is used to turn your advanced SAS and all your SAS on. As is now, this is the nav ball, is your horizon. If you now you cannot see, but this blue part is the sky, and there is a brown part which is the earth. This is will show where you're pointing. Right now we are pointing straight up, so we are in the middle. I don't care for this mission about orbit or anything like that. We will go straight up and straight down, so I will explain orbits and stuff like that later on. So something else that you might find useful is throttle. We throttle up with shift and throttle down with control. I suggest to launch at maximum throttle and SAS on, and when you are ready you hit space. Now I don't know if it's loud or not for you, but well, something that you must know is that if you press WASD and Q and E, you will move. W and S will control your pitch, while Q and E your roll, and A and D your yaw. I don't know how to pronounce it. So you see that the advanced SES is keeping my ships pointing straight up, and you can see it because I'm not pressing anything, but these values are changing. But if I try to press something, you see that it will bounce, because well, I try to pitch down, but at the same time pitch up, sorry, but at the same time the SAS is trying to keep it straight. Now I don't know why, but okay, nothing, sorry. This is kinda good. We are going pretty high. We are burned towards one fuel tank. We are two fuel tanks, sorry. This is the tier 1. You can see, well, there's nothing special here. This is the moon. It's called it's actually called moon. This is Minmus, and it's the second moon of Kerbin. Kerbin is the planet, by the way. Now, as I said, I will go straight up, so I don't care about the orbit. We overshoot it. I don't care. So, what is important about spaceships? You have to be able to go straight up with your advanced SAS turn on, but you need to also be able to turn your shift wherever you want by turning it off. If the ship is pretty big, you might notice that it's pretty low to turn, so you can turn your RCS on to help you out. Keep in mind that in vacuum, if you start moving in a direction, you will continue to do so. So don't hold any of the key, because you will find yourself spinning without a way to control yourself. Now, I don't think there is a reason to pitch up. We are pretty far away, kinda. So, now as you can see, the nav ball shows the various degrees, and it will move depending of your orientation. So as I said, the brown part, or orange, I don't know the colors, is the Earth. In fact, we are pointing straight down, and I think we want to do so. Now, something important that you must know. These two yellow markers are... Wait, Whoops, I'm sorry. These two... Oh... Stop doing that. Okay. These two yellow markers are very important to know what they mean. This circular one, remember, this is the direction you're traveling. This is your prograde vector. So if I fire this way, I'm basically firing the same direction I'm traveling in both vertical and horizontal speed, and well, in the third dimension. This is you can see because, well, there are three angle of 60 and a cross in the middle of the circle, and this is the retrograde direction. If you find this way, you will fire in the opposite direction. So if you want to slow down, this is the way to go. I want to also point something out about RCS. RCS, you can control with WSID, and they do the same thing basically, but you can also control them with I, K, J, L, N, and H. Sorry, H and N. They will... if you control them with WASD and Q and A, they will help you move around. So to move up, to point your nose up, down, stuff like that. While if you use the other keys, they will try to shift you in the direction you're pressing. As you notice, A, J, K, L have the same they look similar to arrow keys or to WSID as a position between each other. So this is the reason why they're used, and H and are used to shift up and down your ship. It might not be that useful at first, but when you're trying to do a precise landing, maybe on a very low gravity planet, they are very useful to kill your horizontal speed when your when your engines are too powerful to do so. So now we are free falling, and we have just entered the atmosphere. The atmosphere is 78,000 meters height, and this thing indicates the part of the atmosphere we are at. We are going at 2000 meters per second. Okay, I open my parachute, maybe might detach, I don't know. So we are going pretty fast, and this indicate, as I said, the level of atmosphere you're at, and how much the air is thick. So you will see a nice boost of power as you go in the different stages of the atmosphere. This is very useful when you're planning your mission. Our engine exploded down here. So the parachute, when it opens, usually you will land safely. I don't think there is much more to say. I'm sorry if this video is kinda boring. Oh, by the way, there is EVA, where you can move, you can control the ship. There's the nav bulb working one. Here's the controls, the atmosphere, the other control. This is an altimeter. No, vertical speed, I'm sorry. This is the radar altitude. It starts for 3000 meters and goes down. This is the altitude, but this is useful to land, and it's something that you don't have outside here in this view, neither in this. So you can also control your ship in space in this map by clicking here. It's very useful when you're planning long mission and you have to see, well, where your orbit is going and stuff like that. You can open the map by pressing M, by the way. So we are landed, and I think there's something else. There is also EVA. That was IVA. This EVA. EVA is basically extravehicular something. Well, you do stuff with your kerbal, kerbal, and there is not much that you can do, especially here. Whoop. You can press R to turn your jetpack on. It will control with your WS and the Q and E. Oops, and sorry, Q and E are not used for the jetpack. Sorry. L is your torch. This one. I bind it to E because my health key doesn't work, so shame on me. That's it. If you hold shift, will go up, well, when the gravity is low enough. Control to lower your altitude. When your jetpack off, if you hold shift, if the gravity is high enough, you can sprint. Space to jump. Don't jump while sprinting. Something curious is about these random creatures is that they are very tough. You can something interesting to do with them in EVA is to do crazy stuff, roll down a hill or stuff like that, because well, they are a very strong body. They can resist a very high G force, and you can actually it's possible to jump from from out of the atmosphere and use your jetpack to bounce off the ground and survive, which is kind of amazing because you will going pretty fast. So I will board once again this derelict, and we will go to our next mission. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry if I bothered you with my terrible English. I hope you give me any advice you think about, and you help me out in general with my pronunciation, with my grammar. This is the main reason I'm doing this, so thank you. Have a nice day.